Hey there, welcome to the StockOptionAssassin.com's weekly video for swing trading options. Today is Friday, May 18th, 2012. And before we get going here, for those that are watching this on YouTube or on our main site, be sure to click on the little cog wheel underneath the video and change this to 720p HD. All of our videos for both our members and our YouTube, we do in HD. So if you guys put that on HD 720p and you expand it to full screen, it's going to look much more clear. So hopefully that helps you guys. I want to start off today's post with a quick recap of what we talked about last week's video, where we had this head and shoulders pattern on the IWM, had not yet triggered. Our members, we took some put options on this candle. We got out on this candle with basically when we ran into the 200-day moving average. We had a great trade for our members. This was a I believe 65% gain on this trade. And remember what the setup was. We've been talking about the squeeze, where we had entered a squeeze. We were trading below the averages. We were actually looking for a snapback, but we ended up taking a small position, like a half-size position here, because we didn't want to short at the lows, and that ended up working out for us, so that's great. The other one we looked at in last week's video was WFC. Again, same setup where you have the squeeze indicator with the red dots kind of waffling here between positive and negative, but you can see we were trading under the cluster of moving averages. We took the trade here. We got out on this candle. This was an 87% trade gain on that trade. And I want to let you know we are still accepting members for the free trial. And the last 6 weeks have been awesome. We've closed 12 out of 13 trades as winners. So go to our website right now and start your free trial. Let's make some money this week. So what I want to talk about today is, looking into next week. One thing that was interesting today was I'm going to look at the UUP. This is the U.S. dollar index. I don't typically trade the UUP, but something interesting happened today. There was a huge bearish bet on the UUP, and basically you can see the run that it's had. It's actually pulling back. This may actually pull back a little bit and maybe give us a little, pop into the next week, because the dollar does trade relatively inverse to the markets. So when the UUP is up, stocks are down. Today stocks are down and UUP is down. So we'll see how that pans out. But the bet that was made today was in the December 19 puts, and you can see there was about over 20,000 of these took place today. This was a single trade, and basically none had traded prior to that. So someone is making a huge bet that the dollar by December is going to be much lower. Now, you can't really tell if this was sort of a hedge to a large position, or if this is just a straight up speculation. So I actually piggybacked on this. I picked up, I think, 20 contracts just to kind of follow the trade. Sometimes I do that. You see these big trades and you're like, well, let me just see what this guy was thinking. So I might pick up a handful. Really nothing to move the needle for me, but it just, since I track the dollar so much, I like to keep an eye on this kind of thing. So I thought I'd point that out for you guys today. I have a super duper small position. Like I said, I think about 20 contracts was like $40. I think my commissions were about the same as the actual contract size. We'll see what happens over that in the next few months, but something to keep an eye on. And really what's going to affect the market this next week, I think, is going to be the dollar, which is basically what's going to come out of Europe. Let's go back to the charts. And you have the G8 summit this weekend, and they're going to be sort of talking about what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, but we are so oversold. Let's go back to IWM. We are so oversold that any sort of good news or some ridiculous plan that might come out might actually give the euro a bounce, which would lower the dollar, which in turn would give the this U.S. stocks or stocks in general a bounce, especially commodities. So what I want to look at for swing trades this week, I pointed out, and I'm continuing to use the squeeze indicator, which is also something we work with in our service. You can see the IWM, again, the squeeze there, fired short. I want to look at Pepsi. I talked about this last week. I'm kicking myself for not taking this trade, but at the time the market was failing. I didn't know if Pepsi could go to the long side, and look what it did. The squeeze here, you kind of zoom in. You have the moving averages, and I used the 13 EMA, and then the 20, 50, 200 simple moving averages is kind of my reference points. But you can see we were trading above the moving averages. We were starting to kind of get some consolidation here with the squeeze, and this thing fired long, and Pepsi just had a huge, awesome run. We've now pulled back, came almost to the 13 EMA, but we didn't quite get there. So I would expect Pepsi, now that we've kind of gotten above this, you can see their support back in this area. Bring in my price level here. Previous resistance around the 67 area, 66.80, will likely be support. So if we pull back sort of in between these averages, let's just call it 67 for now, maybe 67.10. If we can pull back in there, I would look at taking a long. Pepsi's been holding up really, really well. The other one I want to look at is Pfizer, PFE, ticker symbol. I actually picked up a small position today. This is a similar chart, but you can see the squeeze in this case is actually sort of, you get some downward momentum. But what's happening is that PFE, Pfizer, is maintaining its moving averages. Yeah, it's below the 20 and the 13, but it's kind of stuck here, and you can see this consolidation happening. So I would not be surprised if the market gets a bounce that PFE, this might turn yellow, kind of like, goes from red to yellow, showing some positive action, and this thing to sort of break out. So I did take a small position in that. I actually took some weekly calls. We'll see if that turns out. If this thing does sort of start to trade up, you might be able to get in, once it's above the moving averages. And even once the thing fires off, you can actually get in on pullbacks. And that's similar in this situation where you had some momentum here. Pfizer was in a squeeze for a while. The momentum kept going up. So had you gotten in the squeeze up here, you would have fired off, popped up, taken some profits, pulled right back into the moving averages, and then, maybe take another shot to the upside. So this is a great indicator we use here at stockoptionassassin.com. Definitely recommend you guys check it out. It works for, both Forex, futures, and, basically anything with a chart. So one other thing I wanted to point out is gold and GG. I was looking for a double bottom here, and I see my trend line. This is from, I didn't actually take this trade, which I'm, obviously kicking myself. Go back to the monthly chart. You can see basically this pivot here. I guess we can see it on the weekly chart better. Gold, this is a gold miner. I mean, just super oversold, coming into a double bottom here. We got a nice bounce from there. We're just ridiculously oversold. If the dollar can rally, I'm sorry, if the euro can rally and the dollar were to fall next week, I think this stuff goes higher, as well as the GLD. But if it falls, this is a perfect setup for a short. So I'm not in this, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on this for now. So that's all I got for today. I guess a couple other plays that are in squeeze. You have eBay actually fired short today, but you can see it's maintaining the 50. I think a pullback to eBay around this gap fill around 36 could be a potential long. You also have Target, ticker symbol TGT, maintaining here. We're actually kind of scooping down, but this is on a 4-hour squeeze. You can't really see it now on the 4-hour chart, but you can see this did fire short. We are maintaining some previous levels. So Target did have decent earnings, but the market kind of just overtook it. I think if we can get some positive momentum, Target will probably retest these highs. So that's all I got for today. You guys have a great weekend, and I will catch you next week.